How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Have you heard this phrase before? Have you used this phrase before? This can get very repetitive and boring very fast because it is used so often. So today, let's talk about a lot of different ways that you can use the phrase, how are you? And some many alternatives that I think will be much better for you. If you're interested, then let's get into it. So first today, let's talk about 3 different types of ways that you can use this phrase. Let's start by going into some casual alternatives that you can use that I think you'll enjoy much better. Next, we'll go into some phrases that you can use in a more formal setting for perhaps work or an educational environment. And then let's wrap up by going over a few funny or maybe a little more interesting phrases that you can use. And so first, let's start by going into some casual ways that you can use a phrase that you all know so well. And the first one that we'll use today is, how are you doing? How are you doing? And you can respond to this with something easy like, I'm doing well, I'm doing great. And in US English, you might get some responses back like, I'm good. And this is gonna give you the same feeling of, I'm doing well. Another phrase that we can think of is, how have you been? Okay, how have you been? And this gives the feeling of closeness. It shows that you really want to know, how has the person been doing lately? What have they been doing lately? So for this phrase, I have been doing great, or I have been doing really well, are probably some responses that you might hear to the phrase, how have you been? Another good phrase that you can use is, what's going on? What's going on? So this phrase is something that makes it sound a lot more friendly. And also I like this phrase because it reminds me of my father. He would say, what's going on? To people when he ran into them. And he would also use it with me a lot. And in response to this phrase, you can use something like, nothing much, or same old, to kind of give a nice casual response, show them that not much is going on, nothing much has changed. So another question that I like is, what's new? Or you can also say, what's new with you? Think of this as a way to get the latest information or for you to get some updates on that person's life. You want to know, has anything interesting happened to this person since the last time that you saw them? The next phrase that you can think about is, what's up? What's up? And this is a phrase that's very short. It's very casual, to the point. I use this phrase a lot when I run into my friends. What's up? It's just a quick way for you to find out what's going on lately. What's up with you? What are you doing? What's up? Try it out. And you can also use this one as a greeting that doesn't even need a response. What's up? Next, how are things going? And you can use this as a casual phrase that is a catch-all because it's a very general phrase. How are things going? So if you aren't sure about what someone is doing in their personal or private lives, this is a good phrase for you to find out. How are things going? And with this phrase, you're not asking about anything specific, so you'll be able to cover a lot of different topics. So how are things going? So how are things going for you guys? If you've liked what you've heard so far, how about hitting that subscribe button to hear more content like this? How are things going? So the next phrase is, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you guys feeling? And some responses that you might hear to this phrase are, I'm doing really good, or not so well. This phrase is said when you want to know how the person has been feeling lately. Maybe health-wise they haven't been okay. Maybe there's something going on with them that you know about, and you really just want to get a little more feel of how they have been feeling lately. And it also gives you a feeling of closeness because it shows that you're really interested in their well-being, their health, and you really want to know, how have they been feeling? And you can also use this one if you think somebody has been feeling nervous. For example, maybe they have a big presentation, a big speech, something's going to be happening at school or work, and right before they do this, you can ask them, how are you feeling? kind of find out about their well-being, find out what headspace they're in at the time. How are you feeling? So try this one out if you get a chance. How's it going is another casual way to ask. You can also ask, how's everything? And this is very similar to, how's it going? I use this one a lot with my family or to check in when they're doing something. How's it going? How's that game going? How's dinner going? This next phrase I use when I want to check in on somebody. Maybe I'm sending a text message. Maybe I'm sending an email and I just want to know what's going on. I'll say this one. How's life? It's very casual and it's also very general. You can also say, how's life treating you? It's a very good phrase to ask how things have been going for the person lately. Another good one is, how has your day been? Or, how is your day going? I use this one a lot with my wife for a quick check-in. Maybe I'm sending her a quick message to see what's happening during the day. How has your day been? How is your day going? Okay guys, so next let's get into some more formal ways that you can say, how are you? How about try something like, how do you do? How do you do? This can be a phrase that you can use to greet someone that you don't know so well. And now that I'm telling you guys this and thinking about it, I've actually never said this phrase to anyone. But if you have the chance, how about give it a try? How do you do? How are things coming along? This can be said to someone in a work setting to find out how something is progressing. Maybe someone is working on a project. Maybe someone is doing something for school and you want to know, how is it going? What's the progression? How far have you gotten? You can use this phrase. How are things coming along? Another one is, how are things coming together? Maybe you notice someone was having a little trouble with something before. Maybe they're working on something or doing something before. You notice now they seem to have gotten everything a little more under control. They're a little more steady, and so you can kind of check in with them with this phrase. How are things coming together? Okay, and these next greetings can be a little funny, a little different, a little more interesting, maybe something that you use with friends or family, somebody that's a little closer to you. Try some of these next phrases out. I wouldn't use these next phrases in a work setting or someone that you didn't know, so think close, family, or friends. Howdy is a phrase that you can think of, and this is a smushed together version of the phrase we talked about earlier in the formal section, how do you do? How do you do has become sped up, pushed together, and that's where you get howdy. And this one I think is kind of regional in the US. It makes me think of Texas, where my mother was born. It also kind of makes me think of Western movies. Howdy, howdy partner. So something like this, howdy. Sounds kind of friendly, sounds kind of a little funny. Try it out if you have the chance. One that I heard in some of the schools when I was growing up is, how's it hanging? And this also gives me a regional feel similar to the one before. It makes me think of California, where I grew up. It makes me think of the beach. How's it hanging? Try it out if you get the chance. How's it hanging? If you are a Star Wars fan like me, you can think of something like, how is the Force with you today? People that know will know, people that won't, but try it out. It's just another creative way to ask, how are you? So the next time you're in a situation to greet someone, you have many alternatives to the same old phrase, how are you? Okay guys, I hope this helps you out. If you have heard any other phrases, leave them down below. Any other alternatives to how are you? I hope this helps you out. If there are any other phrases that you have heard, how about you share them down below? I will leave a video right here if you are interested in learning about small talk. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. See you.